Amanda is back. Hold on.
Yes.
Yay! Okay. Somebody tell us you can hear us. It make us happy.
Can you hear us?
We can
One.
hear you. Yay!
Yes. Cool.
Okay. Sorry for that interruption. I don't know what happened there. Let's give a couple people a minute to get back in. Yay.
Okay. Cool. That's so
Yay.
weird.
Okay. I'm sorry that has not happened before. Living and
Yeah.
learning, I gotta tell you. Okay, now we've got more people back. So I'm rewinding just a couple minutes. Thank you for giving us the thumbs up. You can hear us. Um, One of the things I said to Amanda is, how is her work? So she's wearing a sweater that says women. Please tell me you can hear me. Okay.
Now we can.
And It's my deep passion. And I, Amanda, actually, the work she's doing is really breaking barriers and putting other women on top. And I just want to talk about, I know that's important to her, and let her just talk about that passion and what she's doing in that regard.
Yeah. And I think they kind of heard a little bit of what I was saying before of just like doing content that's kind of addressing different issues women go through and making light of it, and also just putting more of a conversation about it, but also just collaborating more. Like so many women try to say, yeah, we support other women, we do other things, but that means nothing if there's no action towards it. So even for me, like when I talk to different women that want to do different things, I try to think of how I can connect them, different ways that I can help them, or even just collaborating with them just to get their message across that they're having trouble communicating to their audience, and even like with branding themselves. So, I try to help in all those different ways and just have fun while doing it.
I love that about you. That means a lot. I think that you're always, while you're on top, you're always reaching your hand back to pull somebody else there. So that says a lot about who Amanda is as a person. Okay, I have just a couple more questions because we have to go over now because we had technical difficulties. All right. One, you recently tweeted, "It is a great time to be curious," which I loved that tweet, because I totally believe that, and I feel fortunate that I get to, I've gotten to know so many successful people like you. And like, that is, in my mind, the secret sauce of success. Everybody I know who's wildly successful is insanely curious. So
Yeah.
tell me what you meant by that.
Well, I kind of obsess over things. Like when I hear about something, or if I don't fully understand something, I like to educate myself so I can really just know everything about that topic. So and it's all because in my career, I have so many different verticals of what I'm doing that, it's good for me to learn more about SEOs and just posting, and even website development and all that stuff, all the techie stuff. But then also in stock markets, I was learning more about that just for investing and all that stuff. So I'm just like studying, and I feel like I became a lawyer like over the course of my career. So just understanding contracts more.
I'm sure.
And it's a lot, and that's really geared more towards business, but also for like health and wellness, and even just everyday life and relieving stress. Like anytime I have a question, I just don't leave it as a question. I figure it out and I allow myself to answer it. So then, okay, I know that. Like I'm less of a reading full books, and I'm more of reading articles, and more of like, getting kind of like the cliff notes to it.
I'm the same. I get it. You need to get this thing. I actually put this in my story this weekend because I'm like you. You're always asked in interviews, like, what's your favorite book? I'm like my father's greatest disappointment that I don't read books all the time. But I am constantly consuming content, from people that I really trust for how they do it. There's a woman named Polina Marinova who puts out something called The Profile. So she used to write for Fortune, and she started her own thing. And every Sunday it comes to your inbox, and she's profiled like, incredible people, incredible company stories. And it's like snackable. Like I can read it quickly. And it's like you get such lessons, just like everybody who's joined here is learning from you today about, I think, some of the way you think of these things. You did say in training your mind is as important as training your glutes. So
both important.
I know Amanda's incredibly fit. We all know, like she's such a clean eater, and she's so dedicated to fitness. But talk a little bit about training your brain and how you do that. Like, what's your practice to do that?
Yeah, I guess it's one is the curiosity and just like figuring it out right away. Another is I do love watching documentaries. That's what made me become vegan like 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, just for like the health components of it all,
yeah.
and environmental benefits.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of that. But also just I watch a lot of YouTube videos too. Even yesterday I was just watching the HBO documentary on was it Warren Buffett? And yeah, so it's super interesting. And like you said, I'm definitely going to sign up for that profile thing because I love hearing how people have found their success and the struggles and what they've learned. Because even for me, through experience is one of the best ways I've learned things. Yeah. But if mentorship is super helpful, I mean, just having somebody that you can reach out to or just ask questions for and not be embarrassed about or not feel like you're bothering them or, even if it's like a dumb question, it's never a dumb question. And if it avoids a whole length of mistakes and, hardship, ask questions. So.
Look, I think, for me, it was a little bit, as I work with these female founders inside of the Pinkubator or the Pink Ceiling, it's a lot of like, oh my God, I stepped on that landmine, like step left. I've done that. So it really is helpful, I think, to have that. It's so funny when you were talking about, not only having to learn to be a lawyer to analyze all the contracts that are put down in front of you, but even that you're learning investing. I was thinking, oh my gosh, me, you, and Ashley Graham are going to go and have a meeting with Warren Buffett. That's what it's so funny. Ashley Graham, who is a supermodel, who's a dear friend. She's wonderful. And she's from Nebraska. And I'm always like, Ashley, like, hook me up. Let's all go meet Warren. One of my favorite paintings that's out there is from a woman named Ashley Longshore, who's an artist. And it says, Little Miss Muffet became Warren Buffett. And I love that so much for women because actually if you'll just show up and do all the hard work, you can become Warren Buffett, who, just built it all and has sort of stayed true to his principles. I love that documentary. That's such a good one.
And he seems like he's just so cool.
I think he's just like the guy that still lives in the same house, that he's always lived in. Drives the same car. Like there's no fancy. He's like you about, saving. I don't think he's fancy. I have a belief in life that you should go see all the greats play, like that you have the opportunity to do. And actually right now, it's pretty extraordinary that we have like this kind of opportunity to see the greats. But, whether it's Jordan play, if you could have Once Upon a Time or LeBron. But I actually went to a shareholder meeting of Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett, to watch Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, who he works, deliver a shareholder meeting because it's like some of the greats of our time. And let me just tell you, they do it in Nebraska. You get into like the convention center to watch them. And then it's like spillover into all the hotel ballrooms for people who fly in just to watch them do this. It was so cool. And they give like 10 minutes of an update and then they take questions for 3 hours. It's really cool. So anyway.
That's so awesome that you were able to do that.
It was so fun. I mean, that's like my weird bucket list, right? Like some people would do one thing. I'll go to Nebraska to watch.
If I find out that you go and I'm not with you.
Oh no, we're all going. I think
tracking you down.
We've got to do like a video with Warren Buffett. These three ladies got to go and meet with Warren Buffett. Okay. So, I've seen some, I don't know if anybody has any last comment. Our technical snafu screwed us up, but we've gone a little bit over our time. I know you need to get back to editing, but I at least have to ask a couple fun things. Has there been a COVID comfort food? that you've been eating.
Yes, and I get so mad at Johannes when he asks me to make this because I love it so much, and it just doesn't love me the same. But it's vegan mac and cheese with this vegan bacon. It's like the worst, unhealthiest thing ever, but it's so good.
Okay, well, that gives me relief that even Amanda's eating comfort food right now. I'm over here like making Lucky Charm treats, and it's definitely not good for you. So,
have you ever had, I know this is, we're time-wise, but have you ever had Rice Krispie Treat cereal?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it was like a thing. It was my favorite thing ever. And you just reminded me of that with the Lucky Charms. And now I want cereal.
Amazing. I know. Any kid's cereal, I'm done for. Okay, how about tell us the one thing you're looking forward to doing when quarantine is lifted and we're all like sort of back out there? What's the one thing that you've missed?
Well, traveling, moving, like out of my apartment
Yes.
right now, that'd be great. And just being able to, like, I ran, when I was at CVS, I saw one of my friends I haven't seen in forever, and like at a different aisle, I'm like, hey, Amanda, oh my God. And I was like on my way, and I hit a invisible wall.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's so weird, isn't it? Where you're like,
yeah,
you don't know what to do.
I feel mean. I'm like, I'm a bad person right now. I want to hug you, but I'm not doing it. Like,
for sure.
But it's being a good person right now. We should not go and shake hands.
Yes, it is. That's right. It's the right thing to do. Okay, so I believe that you cannot be as successful as an Amanda without actually inherently being an optimist. So is there something positive that you think is coming out of all of this for us, this incredible moment in time in history?
Yeah, it's actually chills that it's so crazy that it's happening right now. It's like a movie.
It is. Yeah.
But besides, all the clear negatives of it all, and the thing, how I think is you can only do so much. Like, it's happening, the universe is throwing this at us, and you just gotta accept it, do your best within it, and then just make the best of it. So for me, it's really making ways of thinking creatively and thinking differently. So realizing that the world is in a different place now. Okay, like, we need to adjust, and that's as humans, we adapt, and we're meant to adapt and continue to do so. And I've been doing that throughout my career, to different platforms, to different things. And for me, it's almost inspiring and exciting a little bit, because now I'm like, oh, okay, now I can create new businesses that can help people, or I can do this, or I can just work my content this way to get this message across, or just try to think of all these different things, from like philanthropic areas to also to growing your business, and to also, there's so many different ways you can go. And then it's also a lot of time to better yourself right now and educate yourself if you have a lot of free time, if you're not an essential worker right now. It's just staying home. Like, for me, I've been doing 30 minutes of yoga every morning. I hate yoga, but I know it's good for me, the stretching. So I just started doing that every morning now. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm so flexible. I'm so happy.
That's amazing. I love it. I think that's the truth, right? If you see it as sort of new possibility, I think I get people are going through tough times and everything else, for sure. And I want to acknowledge that. But I do believe, like, you've got to see the possibility of what's to come, and creativity wins the day. It will win the day out of this. And, those folks that can keep just giving themselves the job of a creative approach to how they would do business differently or anything else. I think we're learning lessons that we're obviously going to continue to apply even when things go back to, the new normal, if you will. Yeah.
And we're all human, the whole world, it's crazy. The whole world is going through the same thing right now.
Actually, I love that. I love that piece of it, because it's a reminder to all of us that it really is a very even playing field. Like, this is not indiscriminate, right? Wherever you live, whatever, whatever walk of life, we're all being affected by this. And I love that might create a kinder world when we come out of this, because we'll have that perspective. I know. That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
your community is incredible. They adore you, obviously. There's a reason she's one of the top influencers in the world, and I'm so delighted that I got to introduce my community to one of the women I hold dear as a woman on top, putting other women there. Thank you so much, and
Oh,
for
thank
bearing with me
you.
through the technical difficulty. Love spending time with you, Amanda.
You too, Cindy. Thank you for having me and thinking of me as a
Of
woman on top. I love
always. I love
it.
it. All right. Bye. Have a great rest
Bye.
of your day. Thank you,
Mwah.
everybody, for joining.